Hey guys, and welcome in the garage. Today we're working on our DSM, and I'm super excited. So we got to wrap this project up. We're getting really close to getting it running, and it's been a long journey. So today we are going to be replacing this old nasty harmonic balancer. As you can see, it's chipped, and actually it started to break away when I was trying to get it off the car. You'll notice this piece here is still intact because the gear is actually stuck on there. It's real, but we had a different one, so that's already on the car. This ring, as I was prying, it started breaking apart, and that's what happens to a lot of these. And it'll screw up your car when you're trying to race, and even daily driving and all that kind of stuff. Not fun. So we got our nice new harmonic balancer. It's very shiny. It's exactly the same as OEM, so that's going to be going on. And we've got the belt here, so that goes around your power steering and your alternator and that crank pulley and well, harmonic balancer, you know, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we got our bolts here and they're ready to go. I'm in this little container. It's just a little PB blaster. Get all the old nasty rust because it's from the old pulley there. And that's going to be going right down in here. Oh boy, it's all kinds of spaghetti. Don't worry, we're going to nice easy way. So here's our power steering pump here. That's what this line is coming off of. And there's a belt that runs to there. To, if you can really see it, this is cramped engine bay work here, guys. Yeah, maybe, sort of, kind of. There's a pulley right there. Let's look from underneath. Okay. So from underneath, we have a little bit better read. Here's our alternator. This is where our pulley's going to be going on to. And there's that other pulley I was talking about. It's right here where my fingers are touching it. And that's where the belt goes around that. And yeah, all the adjustment for tension is made through the alternator, which has a nice bolt on top of it there. So we're getting into that. Fun times. We take care of that oil line too. I don't like that plastic sitting out like that. So fun stuff today. Fun stuff. Those are all nice and clean now. So the rust keeps them good and handy. Alright. So this guy, and we got a 12 millimeter, and we're probably going to need an extension. So this little guy with a swivel end on it should work out real nice for us. Otherwise we're going to be kind of hard pressed. Alright, get it over. Alright, before I send this thing down here, you can see there's a little hole here. There's a pin that sits on, so this all sits properly and is balanced right for the engine. Okay guys, so normally you'll see this is open right here. Normally there's a piece of plastic. Then you've got your fender well cover and all that's going to go in. So you can see our wiring's exposed and all that. But if you're doing this kind of job right here, this is the easiest way to do it. Take this tire off, get all this stuff out of the way. So right here is our pin, and this is our gear here. So we got a timing mark here, and also on the plate. I hope you guys can see that. Right up in there, that little V on the plate, and that lines up with that piece there. And there's a plastic timing cover that can go over this, so you can see the timing using the pulley, but ours is missing. So this is what it is. Let's hide that in, kind of sideways there, and then it sits nicely right on top of the nut for the crankshaft there. Very nicely on top of the crankshaft nut. That holds in all the timing components. So before we give it any torque, come in here, just put them in by hand using our socket and our extensions. Right here is where the little bit of a wobble in the socket there, well, in my extension I mean, helps get that in there. Otherwise, a deep well socket would probably work. You can probably get your ratchet in here mostly. Such is the length of a compact car. thoroughly. These don't have to be cranked down hardcore. Just need to be tight. Alright. And what I do on these, when you bolt them, across each other, and then once you get the last one tight, you just check the other ones, make sure they're all tight, there wasn't anything holding it back. So there we go. Our pulley's on, nice and tight. Now, it's time for the belt. Now the belt is a bit of a pain in the butt. Triangle across here, you got all your power steering lines. This is my power steering line here. This is the line to the cooler down here, and this is supposed to be the line up here to the reservoir, which will sit here. So there'll be even less space. So even doing belts and stuff like this, it can be easier to go from underneath. If you're just doing a belt, slide it in back here. This is normally where the air conditioning pulley would be, but it's a race car. Who has air conditioning in their race car? Okay. Now we're just going to set it on top of all of our grooves there. Like I said, all of it's going to be done right here. Hopefully you can see that. So right here, that's where all your tension is going to be done. The alternator sits there kind of loose, and you work the nut right here to adjust it back. Everything's a little cold and a little tight, so that's what it is. Actually, I probably need to loosen that, which should also be a 12mm wrench. These are the days that you never question why they made ratcheting wrenches. See, and that'll tighten it, and the other way will loosen it. We're just going to go ahead and extend it out by hand. I don't know how much this you can really see. It's dark down in here. I'll just get it nice and loose. Loosey-goosey. Okay, so once we have it on there, and we know that our tensioner there is loose, it's a fully mechanical tensioner, it's none of that automatic bull crap. See, our belt is still decently tight. As I pull on it, it's going to move that alternator into place. And I'm just going to push it right on top there. Ta-da! Now it's in it, you can see it took a little bit of effort, but now the alternator's moved, and so we don't have any tension on our belt. Well, I'm going to put some tension on the belt. And while the mechanical tensioner is nice because I can set the tension by myself and it doesn't wear out, this is where it's kind of a pain in the butt, because now I have to adjust it to get it in place for my new belt. There's my ratcheting wrench. I'm going to take our ratcheting wrench here. Whoop. Just going to tighten it down. It's just going to draw that belt nice and tight. Now, make sure you're checking the tension by hand, because that's super tight now. We don't want to go overboard. Just want to have the right amount of deflection. Like the deflection on that. The deflection is how much you can push on it. So I'm using a little fancy terminology there for you. So once I've got it set, and I'm pretty satisfied with that, I'll show you guys back down here. We had all that play in the belt, and now we have just a little bit. And that's all you want, just a little bit of play. Okay, so while we were doing that belt, I noticed that the oil line that runs right there just is unprotected. It's just a little plastic line for the oil pressure gauge, and I don't like it just hanging there unprotected. So what we have here is a little piece of vacuum hose and a razor blade, and I'm going to grab some tape, and we're going to make ourselves a little protector. So what you do, just slice that down the middle there. It's okay if it's not perfect, as long as we open up the line. nice and slow. We don't want to cut through the other side. Okay, so what I did there is I made an incision at the top, stuck the knife in, and just ran the rubber tubing. You see how it's nice and tight, so that's going to allow us to fit that right over top of that little plastic piece, or the plastic line, and then we'll use the tape to secure the ends. It'll be really, really good. Okay, so let's turn our light on. That's what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to open up the end and place it over top of the line. And we're just going to tuck the line into it. There we go. A little bit of finagling. That's going to be much better protected from anything. Okay, so there's our oil line. Now it's all done, and you kind of see I tied it up back there so it's a little more out of the way, and that's it. It's nice and protected. Put a little electrical tape in the center there to hold the tube closed, but if anything were to hit it, it's not going to just straight break the line. It's got to go through the rubber first. So, excellent little mod. All kinds of stuff you can do with vacuum hose, guys. Okay, so that's it for today's In the Garage with the DSM project. Tune in next time. We're going to be working on the brakes and the clutch master cylinder, and pretty soon it's going to be time to fire it up. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video, and check us out, All-Terrain Outlaws, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. Alright, guys? Catch you later.